I'm the Irish guy, and Man United fans, are you all excited? I mean, to be on the verge of appointing the former coach of Go Ahead Eagles? I mean, seriously, Go Ahead Eagles. That just sounds like a catchphrase that Frodo Baggins would have said on the edge of Mount Doom. Listen, I don't know if Erik ten Hag will be a true success or a flop, but I will say this. It doesn't really inspire confidence that when you Google the name Erik, you're met with a helpline for bedwetting. Price above, at least Ollie was the sound of a nutmeg. I mean, the next time I see ten Hag, I'm just gonna think of a damp mattress. But here is the positive. We've seen the positives of hiring someone who was mentored by Pep Guardiola at Arsenal. I mean, Barcelona have also hired a Pep disciple too. So now, Manchester United want to do the same, after they were both at Bayern Munich together. On paper, it sounds like a lovely idea. Maybe they can go for a picnic together in a public Manchester park on Wednesday nights. I mean, every director of football or club owner, they all want Pep Guardiola, but they know they can't have him, so they're just trying to give the gig to anyone who's on the same payroll as him. I mean, this is going to have a knock-on effect that will trickle down the leagues. Christ, well, soon you'll have teams like Swansea City giving the gig to someone who once spent 20 minutes chatting to Pep on the bus. I mean, next year, West Brom will appoint a guy who once served Pep a cheese and bagel sandwich at the airport. But hiring managers from the Eredivisie, oh, it is a risk. I mean, you know the board game risk? Yeah, that is what it's like to appoint gaffers from Holland. Ozzy, this is like if your pregnant wife's waters break in the kitchen, and instead of calling the hospital, you just try and get your cat to deliver the child. Oh, good luck with that. Am I the one who remembers that 10 years ago, the Erik ten Hag was Frank de Boer. De Boer, he was just ten Hag with hair. I mean, Man United fans, I hope you're sitting down for this, because what I'm about to tell you will probably wrap your bowels in a knot. Honestly, nobody out there is telling you the truth about the Eredivisie, but oh, wait, I'm about to blow brain snot out your ears. I mean, both men, De Boer and ten Hag, they both spent 5 years as Ajax boss, both men playing an adaptation of total football, inspired by Barcelona, and with great success. Yeah, I know, De Boer crumbled every season in the Champions League, but he won 3 league titles, and just like ten Hag, got himself a job interview at Tottenham. Right now, ten Hag is in a job battle with Rachel Pochettino. I mean, so was De Boer in 2014. And look what happened next. Both De Boer and ten Hag were also heavily linked with the job at Newcastle. I mean, next you'll be telling me they visit the same barber. I mean, the symmetry is uncanny. What, do they both also enjoy eating custard creams in the shower? Next you'll be telling me they both like their steak well done, their toast buttered with jam, and just like eating dead skin off the housemate's elbow, right? I mean, you might think ten Hag is taking the next step in his career to blow De Boer out of the water. I mean, Christ above. Frank was never offered the monster gig at a European super club like Manchester United, right? He was never offered one of the big jobs in England. Oh, really?
Frank de Boer, why I turned down the Liverpool manager's job.
Yeah, I know. Reading this now, it's like listening to that fat middle-aged mum of 3 down the pub who goes around telling everyone that she said no to a date with Johnny Depp. I mean, you know, the one whose entire being smells like a monkey's armpit? The one who constantly walks around with baby sick on her neck? But it's true. De Boer tricked Liverpool into thinking he was a management genius back in 2012. Since then, it took Inter Milan 14 games to sack him. It took Crystal Palace 5 games to sack him. Atlanta United 55 matches. And then the Netherlands 15 games. I think it's fair to say he is a managerial dunce who hoodwinked football. I'm not sitting here saying that Erik ten Hag is odds on to become the next laughingstock in Europe. I'm not going to sit here and say he's got the tactical ideology of a muddy shoe. I mean, Christ, about 2 months ago, I said that Barcelona hiring Xavi was a joke. Pretty sure after that El Clasico, I'm now the one who looks like he's got nothing more than a limp slice of pizza rotting in my skull. But lads, this is a risk, and you can't tell me that it's not. This is a man who blew his Tottenham interview due to a lack of charisma. I'll take that one with a pinch of salt. I mean, yeah, people are using this headline to paint him out as someone who's about as exciting as Calpol. No, it's not that. It's just he was replacing Jose Mourinho, trying to take the job of a charismatic icon. It's always going to be a tough act to follow for someone called Erik. Does anyone get that reference? Anyone? Oh, sorry, I feel a bit mean. But listen, we already know that shopping for superstars in the Eredivisie, it's like trying to do your food shopping with your eyes closed. I mean, sure, you might be lucky and get your hands on a box of Jaffa cakes and a 6-ounce steak. On the other hand, you might also just be eating a box of tampons and a towel for dinner. For every Luis Suarez, there is always a Luke de Jong. It's a division where Ruud van Nistelrooy can pass his golden boot over to Mattia Kezman. Doesn't that just say it all for the levels of unpredictability? But at least with the Eredivisie, you can always stumble upon a truly world-class footballer. The likes of Van Nistelrooy, Luis Suarez, and Virgil van Dijk make it all worthwhile. I mean, if it weren't for rare examples like them, then trust me, for European clubs, the Eredivisie would just be seen as Area 51. You know, just a land filled with subhuman aliens points that you must never ever touch. But with managers, I don't want to frighten you. I don't want this to be football's answer to Scream, but it's worse. It's a lot worse. It's just bleak. I'm gonna ask you all a question. Who was the last truly world-class manager to coach in that league? I'll give you all a few seconds. Go on, let me know. I'm waiting. Was it Bobby Robson in 1999? Okay, great. Any this side of the millennium? And don't you dare say Ronald Koeman. And who else? I suppose Gus Hiddink in 2006. I mean, Steve McLaren finished top of this league with FC Twente. Manchester United are hoping that they have found the one world-class coach in a sea of Eredivisie failures. I admire the bravery and optimism, but to me, it's like expecting to find a fully trained dentist in the hills of Mordor. I don't want to scare you here, but here's where every Ajax manager from the last 25 years is currently working. Right, this is the future of the Ajax manager. Okay, so I'm going to work back from the most recent one. Great. Ajax assistant coach, Al Jazeera, Leon. Don't get excited. Peter Bosz took them from 4th to 10th in the league. And then, unemployed. Netherlands assistant coach, unemployed. And it just goes on like that. I mean, these were managers sacked by Al Ali, Kuwait, Al Wada, Saudi Arabia under 23s, and the Qatar Olympic team. I mean, if Ajax had a school reunion for their former managers, they'd probably have half the guys turning up in a bin bag. They've all fallen on hard times. Price above, poor old Henk ten Kate would probably have to do a GoFundMe to buy himself a suit. The only one flying the flag with any sort of dignity is Peter Bosz, and even he's on the verge of the sack in France. And if you think I'm just picking on Ajax, no, I'm not. Let's look at the other big clubs in the Eredivisie. Right, PSV are a good one. Let's work back again then, shall we? Unemployed. Yeah, these are managers sacked by Maccabi Haifa, Derby County and Iraq. There is not a single ex-manager of PSV Eindhoven who currently has a job. What does that tell you? It's like stumbling upon, I don't know, the alumni of X Factor 2008 and realizing that not one of them has a record deal and they're all just working down the library or pulling pints of Wetherspoons. I mean, let's look at Feyenoord. Unemployed. I mean, come on, poor old Jaap Stam was sacked by FC Cincinnati. Then we've got a big club like Rangers. Okay, great. And then, unemployed. Christ, I am saying the word unemployed so much that the word has lost all meaning. Christ above, I feel like I'm doing a census in Blackpool. I get it, okay? Holland is everywhere right now. From the F1 races to the terrible Spider-Man films. But a Dutch coach at Man United? Ten Hag's done a great job at Ajax. Although, just like Pochettino, aside from that one miraculous Champions League run to the semi-finals, his record in Europe other than that is pretty bang average. It truly is. Yeah, I know he ate his Champions League group for breakfast this season. I mean, it looked like he was building towards a final crescendo. Another semi-final perhaps. No. Knocked out in the first knockout round by a team from Lisbon. Getting knocked out by Adel Rat. I'm not saying Ten Hag is a bad coach. He's not. He's a very, very good one. But this screams Liverpool 2012. Kenny Dalglish was their Ole, a club legend initially hired as an interim, and then he goes on a few cup runs, boosts the squad morale. There's some nice moments in there. Yeah, and a cup final that ended in penalties. Everything Ole did as well. But Liverpool's next appointment after Dalglish was not the finished project. No. It was not a world-class manager. It was Brendan Rodgers, who is still a good appointment. Well, Ten Hag is your Rodgers. I mean, Ten Hag dominated Dutch football. Great. Brendan Rodgers had a 106-point season in Scotland without losing a goddamn match. I mean, so what? This is like Jorge Masvidal bragging because he punched Colby Covington in the teeth outside of Starbucks. I wouldn't really brag about that too much, big guy. These are both ball-playing managers inspired by Johan Cruyff and Barcelona. But no silverware was won at Anfield. Ten Hag will be good. Give it 2 years and you might also have an outside title race that goes into April. But he's just Rodgers 10 years ago. Once you inevitably sack him in October 2025, then I'm convinced you will find your Klopp, your Prince Charming, whoever that is in 2025. Probably a Julian Nagelsmann, who still won't even be in his goddamn 40s. But Ten Hag, trust me, he will do a semi-decent job. You're gonna see the best style of football since Fergie. It will be okay, but he won't win a trophy. He is just the middleman between Ole and a world-class saviour. The go-between who in 10 years is probably going to be winning the FA Cup with Leicester or Aston Villa. Ten Hag is the Dutch Brendan Rodgers. And there's no shame in that. But wait, can you hear that? Can you hear that noise? That's probably the sound of Donny van de Beek breaking every window in his house due to sheer excitement. I mean, this Dutch midfielder is currently trapped on loan at Everton, having gone from Ballon d'Or nominee and almost Galactico to now trying to become the modern day Phil Neville. He must wake up every morning and honestly feel like biting off his hand. By now, his former Ajax boss, Erik ten Hag, about to get the job at Manchester United? This must be what it felt for that girl off Taken when she saw Liam Neeson smash through her bedroom door on the boat. Van de Beek has essentially been rescued from a foster family who kept him trapped in the attic and who fed him sandwiches drenched in rat antifreeze. I mean, this is like the opposite of when Jose Mourinho got the gig in 2016 and everyone immediately assumed that he would then push Juan Mata off the Salford Quay Bridge. Similarly, last summer everyone thought that he would instantly demand that Roma stuff the contracts of Mkhitaryan and Smalling into a busted microwave. But sorry Donny, sometimes things are just too far gone. I mean, Carlo Ancelotti arrived at Chelsea in 2009, and I remember thinking that he would save the career of Andriy Shevchenko. I mean, after achieving so much success together at AC Milan, no, the first thing he did in the Chelsea job was leave him out of the squad for the Community Shield, then omitted him from his Champions League squad before stuffing him in the post back to Ukraine. Football is ruthless. I mean, why not the San Siro together? When Shevchenko was winning Carlo the Champions League, sure, then they probably looked like they were about to give each other cuddles in the bath. But the minute that you're suddenly a used up toilet mat with the confidence and self-belief of something off the undateables, then sadly there's no romance left. I mean, sticking with the Chelsea theme, Rafa Benitez had Fernando Torres, you know, while at Liverpool, arguably the greatest weapon of his managerial career, and he was given him again at Chelsea, and he saw him score in 3 Premier League matches. 3 in 7 months. The damage was already done. Torres was now about as dangerous in front of goal as a stuffed teddy bear. So to me, I don't think this Ten Hag appointment is going to change anything. I think Van de Beek is still done at Old Trafford. Anyway, that's it for this interview. What do you think? Right, let me know. Is Erik ten Hag the future of Man United? Let me know in the comments section. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to subscribe as always. I'll talk to you in a while.